All right, today we're tackling a big one. A concept that, let's be honest, can sound a little scary and is definitely misunderstood a lot of the time. The judgment seat of Christ. So let's unpack what the source material really says about it.
Okay, let's just be honest for a second. When I say the word judgment, what's the first image that pops into your head? I bet for most of us, it's something like a courtroom, right? A serious judge, a gavel, maybe a little bit of anxiety or fear.
But what about this specific phrase? The judgment seat of Christ. Now that sounds even more intense, doesn't it? Well, the source material we're digging into today, it paints a totally different picture. Seriously, it might not be what you think at all.
And right off the bat, here's the first huge twist from the source. This isn't a judgment for the whole world. It's exclusively for believers. Just let that sink in for a moment. That one single detail completely flips the script on what this whole thing is about.
Okay, so this is super important. The source makes it crystal clear that we're talking about two completely different events here. On one side, you have the judgment seat of Christ. That's for believers. And notice the purpose, evaluation and rewards. On the other side, you have the great white throne judgment. That's for unbelievers, and its purpose is final judgment. So, not the same thing. Not at all. Different groups, different purposes, and very different outcomes.
All right. But this is the question that I know is probably buzzing in your mind right now. If believers are being judged, does that mean your salvation could be on the line? Is your spot in heaven, up for review? It's a scary thought, right?
And the answer, according to the source material, is a huge, resounding no. Absolutely not. For anyone who's a believer, the question of salvation is already settled. It's off the table. This event isn't about deciding who gets in.
And this right here is the bedrock for that confidence. Romans 8:1 says, "There is therefore now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus." No condemnation. The source highlights this to show that the verdict is already in. It's not guilty, all because of what Christ has already done.
So let's just nail this down. This is not a trial to punish sin. Why? Because Jesus already took care of that on the cross. That debt is paid. Salvation is a done deal. You've already, as it says in John 5:24, crossed over from death to life. So this whole judgment thing, it has to be about something else entirely.
Okay, so if it's not about salvation, and it's not about sin, then what in the world is it about? I mean, why even call it a judgment? Well, this is where it gets really interesting. The source gives us this amazing metaphor to help us understand.
Yeah, it's this idea of our works being tested by fire. It comes from the book of 1 Corinthians, and it's all about evaluating our service. You know, what we actually did with our lives after we put our faith in Christ. It's not about if we're saved, but how we lived after we were saved.
So let's break this analogy down. Think of it like this. Step 1, the foundation is Jesus Christ. That's a given. It's already laid. Step 2, we are the builders. We spend our lives building on top of that foundation with our actions, our works. Then, step 3, the day. This moment of judgment comes. And here's the key. Fire is used to test the quality of what we built. If your work survives, you get a reward. But if it just burns up, you lose that reward.
And the analogy gets even more specific about the building materials. On one hand, you have gold, silver, costly stones. These are things with real, lasting value. They're built to endure. On the other hand, you have wood, hay, and straw. You know, stuff that's easy to pile up, looks impressive for a while, but poof, it's gone in a fire. The fire doesn't punish. It just reveals what was real and what wasn't.
But this is maybe the most important sentence in the whole passage, and it's the ultimate reassurance. Even if a person's entire life's work goes up in smoke, everything they built was just wood, hay, and straw, the person themselves is still saved. It says they'll be saved, but only as one escaping through the flames. So your salvation is fireproof. It's totally secure. The only thing up for grabs is the rewards.
So you might be thinking, how did we get this so wrong? How did a scary judgment seat turn into an evaluation for rewards? The clue, the absolute game changer, is in the original Greek word that was used.
And the word is bema. Now, context is everything here. In the ancient Greek world, a bema was not a courtroom bench where criminals were sentenced. No. It was the awards podium at the ancient games. It's where the officials sat to hand out wreaths and prizes to the athletes who competed well.
You see how that just changes everything? An athlete wanted to go to the bema.
They ran toward it. It was a place of honor, of recognition, of reward. The whole feeling isn't dread, it's anticipation. It's the finish line, not the defendant's chair.
So what are these rewards we keep talking about? Well, the source points us to multiple places in the Bible that talk about believers receiving different kinds of crowns. You see this in books like 2 Timothy, James, and 1 Peter. So you can think of the judgment seat, the bema, as the great awards ceremony for the church, where these crowns are given out.
And this verse from Revelation really brings it all home. Jesus says, "Look, I am coming soon. My reward is with me." See that? It's not my punishment, it's my reward. And I will give to each person according to what they have done. This isn't a threat, it's a promise. A promise that the things we do for him, they matter, they're seen, and they will be rewarded.
So that leaves us with this one big, practical question. If your life is this building project on the foundation of Christ, and one day the quality of your work is going to be revealed, what are you building with today? Are you choosing the gold, silver, and precious stones? The things that will last? Or are you just piling up wood, hay, and straw? It's something for all of us to really think about.